Hi, welcome back to my orchid life. Thank you so much for coming by for another visit. And to move on with the end of season updates, I thought we'd do the Cattleyas today. I have had some of these for about 2 years, some for a year, some I just recently acquired this year. We'll just have to wait and see. But the first one we're going to talk about is my Cattleya Maxima Variation Cattleya that I got as a freebie from Yoshi at Plants and Other Things when I purchased his Phalaenopsis schilleriana. And when I received her, she had all of the growth that you see now. However, since then, and I've had her since the beginning of September. No, sorry, I repotted her into this mix at the beginning of September. I've had her since the end of July. Apologize for that. But she has a new growth, and as you can see with the new growth, it's also developing a new root system, and that is why I put her in this setup, which it's all moss right now because it is a seedling in this terracotta pot. And then on this side, right down in there, right by my finger, if you can see, there is another new growth also working on a new root system, and she does have some roots inside the pot as well. I am growing her under the grow light. All of my Phalaenopsis, and she's talking about Phalaenopsis, all of my Cattleyas do grow under the grow light on a shelf. So this seedling here I've had since 2019, and her last repot was done in June of this year into this just small bark setup. Up until then she was in moss, but now that she has a root system, that I want her to start growing in bark, and still has her roots. So she did grow, let's see if I can see it. So she did grow this new growth here this year, as well as this little sad excuse of a growth. However, we do have a nice strong growth right here. Let's see if I can get it better. Maybe if I can get the camera. Do you see it now? Right there. Nice new growth. Now this one does produce her roots after the growth is finished, so I have to be careful with watering her and whatnot because I don't want her to overwater. And then oh, I'm sorry, I did not tell you what this was. This is the BLC Fritz Nicholas Spring Dance. Again, I've had since 2019. And then this one here, which is the BLC Willinay Wong, the best, crossed with BLC Onse Mendenhall, also a 2019 acquisition, February to be exact. And you can see she's got some roots right here, and then she's got roots all on this side as well. But more importantly, she's just putting on a lot of growth. So initially, this was the growth that she did, and then she started growing a keiki out of here, and that's where these aerial roots are coming from. Some of them are coming from. And then she did, let's see, this bifoliate here, and then she did 2 monofoliates, another monofoliate, and then she's got these 2 new growths. Move that out of the way. 2 new growths coming right there. Lots and lots of roots going into the pot, as you can see, getting stronger and stronger. She's probably still about a year off of blooming, but she is continuing to grow, and I'm glad that I got her direction of growth correct so that she has all this space to grow before I have to repot her. And then this one here is the Fort Watson Mendenhall, who is working on this latest growth right here. It's going to be a monofoliate. And as you can see, she does monofoliates as well as bifoliates, so you just never know. I'm waiting for her to start producing roots off of this new growth here, just in case she takes after the finickiness of the bifoliate. And once I see those new roots and they get about that long, I don't know how long that is, I'm terrible with, measurements. I'm going to pot her into this terracotta pot. I have found that my Cattleyas are doing really, really well in terracotta, so moving forward, I think I'm going to put them all in a terracotta pot just to help encourage that growth. Then we have the Dewy Forest Kudos here. Again, waiting on, and I've got it. So I am waiting on this. Do you see this itty? Let's see if I can move some of the bark out of the way so we can kind of see. So now that it has those roots, I'm waiting on that root to get a little bit longer, and I'm going to put her in a terracotta pot as well. But she is finishing off this growth here, and she has to new growths. You know what? Let me move this out of the way because you really cannot see it with that, and I'll put it back on after. She is producing a new growth right here, and she does have another little eye down here on the other side. And I've noticed with this one, as the new growth matures, the previous growth will start a new growth. Is that normal? I've never seen that. I've never even watched any videos on that. The research I've done on this one, it didn't mention anything like that. So leave in the comments down below if you have any Cattleyas that do that, or any orchids that produce growths on a rhizome, if you've noticed that as one growth matures, the previous growth starts the newest growth. All right, and I'm waiting for that root to get those roots actually, to get a little bit longer so that I can put those in that one in a terracotta pot. Then let's talk about the big girls. So this is my Sagric Wax Silk Ball that I received from Paula at Hillbilly Orchids, which, by the way, if you don't know, she just started a YouTube channel, so go check her out. She has a lot of experience in growing different types of orchids and has a plethora of knowledge. When I got her, she was just finishing off this growth. Let me just move you up a little bit. She was just finishing off this growth here. These leaves were still tender, as they are when they're first finishing. And I repotted her, and I took a risk because she is a bifoliate. I repotted her before I saw the actual roots. I saw the nubbins, but I did not see the actual roots. So as you can see now though, we have a lot of roots. And if you look at like this leaf right here, see the little wrinkling in there, and then these right here, that's because they started to dehydrate severely, but they've stiffened up now. I mean, I can barely bend them. That's her using her reserves to support the rest of the plant while these roots decided to start growing. Now, I don't see any nubbin or anything. I see nubbins, I just don't see any active new growth on her. But Paula does tell me that she is a vigorous grower once she gets settled in. So it might be the spring before I see any active new growth on her, but as long as she keeps doing the roots, I'm good with that. This one here, another one with a long name. Nope, you know what, we're gonna do these two together. All right, so let's do this one. So this is the RLC Chia Lin Golden Super crossed with RLC Hilo Grand. I've had her again since the April of 2020. And she came to me with 3 nice big leaves. Let's just move you up again. So she came to me, still can't see all the leaves, can you? So she came to me with 3 of the leaves. So this one, and this one. Oh, yes, these 3 leaves here. She's produced 4 leaves, sorry, she has a baby leaf back here, but she's produced these 2 leaves and is now working on this growth right here. And I do have it kind of secured in here just to keep it from, because this one here tends to get winky. Like this leaf that I have tied in, where did I have it tied in? I have a leaf, oh, here it is. This one here that I kind of have tied to the stake, it's because it wanted to lean over and it kind of dented it a little bit in the growing process. So I don't want this to happen on the new growth. And I'm hoping that I get a bloom from this one, because this one has pretended like it was going to bloom for me and then just doesn't. So I want it to bloom. This one here, which is the Potnera Dick Smith Paradise crossed with Horus Maxima. Again, I've had since April of 2020. I got this one, the one we just looked at, and the Spring Dance all at the same time. So here we have the kind of progression here. So it came with this right here. So these 3 right here, the 3 oldest, and you can see it kind of dehydrated at one point. That's what these wrinkles are all about. And since then has put on this growth here. This growth here is working on this growth here. Now this one sat in an orchid top pot for a year. And when I finally repotted her in July into here, that's when all of this root activity and this new growth started. So I don't think she liked the orchid top pot. I was letting it dry out. She just sat there. Now she's doing something. And the reason I wanted to do this one with this one is because this is the Potnera Dick Smith Paradise, one of her parents. So got her in bloom, and this right here, this one here is her latest growth that she did complete, and I don't see I don't see any potential for a spike. And this is one that grows, she grows the bloom straight out of it. It doesn't come in a sheath. And then she is working on finishing off this one here, and I'm hoping for this one to rebloom, as well as we also have a new growth here, and we have, where is it? There it is. And then we have a new growth coming here, as well as there are roots coming off of the previous growth that just completed. And I have a couple of active eyes back here that have the potential to also produce some new growth. Now I want to talk about these two, this one and this one. So this is the one that was supposed to be the Myco Iraqi Volcano Queen that ended up just being a white Phalaenopsis with a little bit of yellow, kind of resembles the Hawaiian wedding song, the Virgin. So she has, let's see, she has this growth here that is maturing. She's got this one back here that did have a second leaf on it, but for some reason the leaf just fell off. I'm not sure what happened. I may have gotten water into the center there, I don't know. And I don't see anything coming out of there. And then she also has a couple of active eyes, but her roots, like she has to have roots in there because her leaves are still stiff. So I'm not sure what is going on. There might be roots down in the pot. But this one here I purchased from my local garden center, who gets their orchids from Fantasy Orchids, our local orchid nursery here in Denver, Colorado. And I think these are the same plant, because this one here is also a white big lip Phalaenopsis with that kind of pale yellow resembling the Hawaiian song Virgin. So I'm hoping that one day they both bloom at the same time, because this one here suffered. I had to cut most of it off because it was rotting. So this was her first attempt at a regrowth, which was a bifoliate. This was her second attempt at a regrowth, and now she is working on this one here, but they're all monofoliate right now. And all of these that I see spikes, previous spikes on, are bifoliate. So I'm waiting for this one to bloom, and I'm hoping this one is in bloom at the same time, because I really think they're the same one, because this one also has the habit of the canes having that curve in them. Let me just move this one over here so you can kind of turn it around. But you see how this one curves, and the canes have that wrinkly look to them, and the leaves look very similar. They feel similar. I'm thinking I have two of the same plant here. Leave in the comments down below what your opinion is, if you feel like this is the same plant. Because if it is, next time it's time to repot both of these, which will be in a couple of years, I may just put them both in the same pot. But like I said, I'm hoping that one day they are both in bloom together, so I can see what is going on and see if they are the same thing. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want more orchid content. And I hope everyone is having a great and wonderful, safe day. We will see you on the next one.